Hey, all my little halflings and goblins. If you're like me, when you're at home online gaming, you're going to get hungry. And we're all stuck at home with this pandemic, so why don't you go ahead and get a hold of the Grub and Grog and order some food? If you're on our Twitch stream, you can scroll down and click on the tile for the Grub and Grog, and you can check out their wonderful menu of items. They'll even deliver growlers, beer, and cider. If you're ordering a sandwich, I recommend the all hands on deck. It's what I regularly eat when I'm at the store. You can even order a board game, maybe some extra dice. Hey, you got a mini that you want to paint? Why don't you go ahead and ask them if they'll deliver one for you? Go ahead and give them a call, check out their website, and when this is all over and done with, I'll see you back at the gaming table. Hey, all my little halflings and goblins. This is DM Chris, your friendly DM from Going Gaming Gaming Store and the Grub and Grog. I just wanted to let you in on an exciting venture that we've started with Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw has been on my radar for some time. I've been wanting to get one of their beautiful wooden DM screens. So my birthday's coming on June 1st. If any of my players want to get one, I kid. But anyways, we have a deal going on with Talon and Claw, and that deal is that if you use code GOINGAMING in all capital letters on their Etsy store, you will receive 10% off of your purchase. In addition to that, Talon and Claw will kick back 10% back to Go and Gaming Store. It's a win-win-win. We help get more customers for Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw helps Go and Gaming survive the pandemic, and you, that's you, get a 10% discount on your purchase. Like I said, they've been on my radar for a while. However, recently I entered a contest on Twitter, and I happened to win one of their leather dice trays. which is this right here. As you can see, it is very portable. The whole thing unrolls. It's stamped with the Talon and Claw logo, and you just snap it together and you get a perfect rolling surface. And let me tell you, the leather works great. Not all rolling surfaces are created equal. I have found that some of the cheaper ones that are made of the PU leather, the dice just skids across it. They slide on one surface. And so this is the surface once it's complete. Also, I have recently purchased from them a Council of 7 dice vault in red oak. These come in different types of wood. You get to choose when you purchase it. They have a magnetic clasp closing it, and it is a vault for holding your dice. They have larger vaults. They also make a full line of wooden dice trays that serve as a vault. They have, of course, many different models of their DM screen in multiple different woods. So definitely go ahead and check them out. You can click their link on my YouTube channel or scroll down in your Twitch channel and you will see a tile there to click on their store. Please check them out, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you at the gaming table soon. Thanks, guys.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
What does
Good
that...
evening.
So
you want us to be a gang now, not just running in and have a demon down in a pit fiend down in the basement, but a gang.
Yeah.
Taking such quarrel with my colloquialism there.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of intriguing, you know? Xanathar? Us? What would we call ourselves?
Well, we could, we could be what they call a group of crows or ravens, right?
A
Ooh.
murder. A murder.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We could be a murder instead of a gang.
So Flavius won't be joining us tonight. I guess he's able to go back to work, and they switched up his hours, and so he didn't get the same hours that he had. So he's hoping that he'll be able to switch that back, and who knows, by the time that he can do that, perhaps we'll be back playing in the store. So he says he's sorry.
It's alright.
Are we? Is Mittens going to join us?
Hey,
Oh, you are here.
I just realized I didn't have the page up.
Uh-huh.
So Flavius was lured away by just something within Waterdeep.
He went to go eat pies.
I want to go eat pies.
So if you scroll out, or zoom out rather, because if you scroll out, sometimes that doesn't work. But if you zoom out to about 30%, you will see the background image that I have up for our, for at least the first part of our map tonight.
Nice.
So where we left off, you guys had through no fault of your own, and it was just a set of really quirky circumstances, you ended up getting sucked through a portal into the Shadowfell. And you met
when that happens.
Yeah. You met a older couple that were riding in a barrel top wagon, heading toward. They said they were going towards a town of, or towards Barovia. On the way, they stopped in a small town, and in the town square was a tavern inn kind of thing. I don't necessarily want to call it an inn because it's not like they have a whole lot of rooms, but they do have some rooms, and you guys paid to get a room for the night. And you met some of the locals, and the locals, when you were questioning them, the locals told you that you should try one of the pies. And when you asked about the pies, they said that there is an old woman that goes around the town square and gives out the pies to everybody in the town. And that's where we left off. Before we go much further, let me mention that we are a gaming group from Troutdale, Oregon, and we usually play at a store called Goin' Gaming. And because of the pandemic, Goin' Gaming has had to close its doors and shut down all of its D&D games and Magic the Gathering games. They are still able to deliver food, and they are doing curbside pickup. They have a 3-mile radius. I believe that's Troutdale, Gresham, Corbett, and Fairview, I want to say, for deliveries. But yeah, they've had to close their doors. And so we have started a GoFundMe to try and help save them, because as the old adage goes, you can't play Dungeons and Dragons on Amazon and you can't play it at Walmart. I mean, you could, but they'll probably throw you out. Strict dress policy at Walmart. We have started a GoFundMe, and we are taking donations to try and help save the store. Anything can help, even $5. I know that everybody is financially strapped right now, and I know that there's a lot of people that aren't working. But anything you can do to help is much appreciated. We also have a link to Goin' Gaming's Grub and Grog Deli. If you are in the area and you want to order food, go to the website and order yourself a sandwich. And last but not least, we have a partnership going on with Talon and Claw. They make wooden Dungeon Master screens and dice trays, the Council of 7 dice vault, They have leather dice trays, a number of very beautiful products. They'll customize it for you. We have a partnership with them. If you go to their Etsy store, and you can go there by scrolling down and clicking on the Talon and Claw logo. If you use the code GOINGAMING in all capital letters, you'll receive a 10% discount on your purchase. And Going Gaming will then receive 10% of the purchase price from Talon and Claw. It helps the entire community by getting more customers for Talon and Claw, and it keeps the store open, and you get a discount. So everybody wins. So go ahead and check them out. All right, so you guys are in the tavern tap room. What would you like to do?
I want to go try some pies.
Okay, so you
What do they do?
so you overhear them tell Aaron that if you go outside, you'll find a woman going around the town, and she is giving out these pies, and that they didn't say it objectively, but they implied very heavily that they were free. And you look out the window, and indeed you see a very old woman with a hump on her back, and she is leaned over, and she's pushing this little wooden cart. And you see her speaking to a younger man stepping outside of a shop on one of the street corners.
Okay. I'm gonna go outside and see what kind of conversation she's trying to make with the guy.
Okay.
If I can learn anything else about the pies.
Okay. Hold on here.
The mysterious pies.
Okay, what did that work? There we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Not necessarily that I need to do this yet, but it's probably a good idea to get you in there. Sorry if I seem a little slow tonight. My allergies are just beating the hell out of me. And
It's all good.
How
Yeah.
dare you be human?
I know, right? Man, and I got like no sleep last night. It doesn't help that my wife kept me up until like 2 in the morning. I created a monster. I have introduced her, or shown her rather, that there is really, really trashy TV on Pluto TV on Roku. And so we have been watching the worst programming ever created by man. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team is just a terrible, terrible show. And another, oh man, and well, it's really easy to make fun of these people, and so it is amusing for like the first 45 minutes. But I think I'm depressed now. But yeah, the other one that we've been watching is she's been watching, and I have no choice. What is it, like Marriage at First Sight or something like that? And it's just absolutely, I mean, it's a horrible idea to begin with, and I can't believe anybody would subject themselves to this, but yeah. So, yeah, I created a monster.
Anything for fame.
I guess. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Well, are we pursuing this Pie Avenue?
So yeah, you see this old woman. She's out there talking to this guy who's kind of. He's not. He's got the door open and he's stepped out. Norte, make a perception check.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible.
So yeah, you see an old woman.
Wait. 6. It's 6.
6. Yeah, no. All you see is an old woman and she's talking to this guy.
Telfar's gonna go with him.
And Aaron has an extremely high passive perception, is keeping track of this. I believe we left off last week with Aaron trying to play a gambling game with the younger, healthy strangers.
Yeah, you were sitting there talking to these guys, and they were engaged in a dice game, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So I'll waste a few gold in that, but I will beg off for the moment, claiming a biological need, and get out of sight, seeing that my group is out doing things.
Okay.
And my suspicions are high. And out of sight, I will cast Detect Evil and Good. So for 10 minutes, I can detect undead, fae, fiends, various elementals, aberrations, and such.
Right.
Because I am not at home anymore. This is not Kansas.
No.
And I want to know if there's something really strange going on, or this is just normal strange.
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of have to you kind of have to decide what the normal is.
That's too deep for me. And I'll return to the inn.
So yeah,
after.
you cast Detect Evil and Good, and you detect two things. The first thing, coming from outside, from across the street where this old crone is talking to this guy, you detect. The first thing you detect is you do detect evil. The next thing that you detect is Fae.
Aha. So I see my good buddy is over there, not directly in line, but showing interest in this evil fae that's selling pies. Is that correct?
That would be a sound assessment of the situation, yes.
Then I will go and join him.
Okay. All right. So, Norite, are you? So before that happens, Norite, were you going to go out and talk to the old woman?
I suppose.
Okay. So, as you get closer, you immediately notice that the man that she is talking to is sobbing. And he says, you can overhear him say, please, can you just give us one more and then we'll discuss it? And the old woman says, no, the first one is free. You need to stand up to your side of the deal. And the man just keeps sobbing.
I'm gonna chime in and say, what's this about a deal over here?
Oh, it doesn't concern you. But this gentleman made a deal for more of my pies. You're new here. Would you like a pie?
I'll hold off for now, thank you, though.
And she flips over the tarp covering her wooden cart. And in this cart are these delicious smelling pies. And you can tell that they're some kind of berry pie, but they are just the scent comes out and it just overwhelms you at how good they smell. And as soon as the shopkeeper smells them, he says, "Okay, okay, but please take good care of him." And he reaches in and he pulls out a young boy about the age of 6 or 7 years old, and he shoves him out the door. And the old woman takes his hand and she says, "Okay, come with me."
I'm not eating those pies.
Something seems off about that.
Yeah, no.
This seems perfectly legit.
Can I make an insight check?
So so go ahead and make your insight check. And about that time, Carl comes sauntering across the street, or I'm sorry, Aaron comes sauntering across the street, and Aaron, you see this old woman now has the hand of a young boy, and she looks up at you and she says, "Well, you're new here as well. Would you like a pie?"
I'm gonna stop him, and I got a nat 20 plus 7 for my insight check, so what am I saying?
So your insight check, I mean, you don't know for certain what's going on with this whole transaction that just took place, but you definitely know that it's not good. This little boy is it's probably not going to come home to dad.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Carl, don't eat any of the pies.
But they smell so good.
Don't do it. I think is that they're so good, she wants them to be so good that people like get addicted or something to it.
Oh, I've heard of
They
these.
always want more and more and more, and they're willing to do anything to get more.
This is crack pie. Yeah.
Yes, she reaches into the cart and pulls out one of these pies and gives it to the shopkeep. And as he's sobbing, he just can't help himself. He just starts shoveling this pie by the handful into his mouth. And from back inside the shop, his wife comes out and she reaches over his shoulder and she's shoveling this pie into her mouth. And she's like, "Oh, it's so good." And they're both crying as they're doing it. And then you see them turn around and walk into their shop and just shut the door. And the door's shut and you're left outside with this old woman and the young boy. And she says, "Well, if you're sure that you don't want one of my delicious pies, I have places to be, but I won't be back until next week. This could be your last chance."
My.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Telfar definitely wants one.
So is Telfar going to come out and get a free pie?
I'm going to attempt to hold Telfar back. I don't want anything bad to happen.
Well, you shouldn't have become an adventurer if you didn't want anything bad to happen.
Yeah, I think that ship sailed a couple of times.
This is bad, though.
No, I'm going to suggest that it would be a very nice thing for Aaron to have in his collection of poisons and weird stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't eat it. Just don't eat it. Don't eat
So,
it.
grandmother, what was? So you're offering one of those one of those pies, delicious pies for free for me?
The first one's
Oh,
free.
the first one is always free.
Wow. Well, what was this? What did I just see here with the shopkeeper? Did they actually give their child to you for a pie?
Oh, he has some work to do for a time.
Wow. Those. That pie must be amazing for them to behave in such a fantastic manner. Yes. Do you have different types?
Oh yes, yes. I have a boysenberry and a This one here is a strawberry rhubarb.
Huh.
This one
I-
here is a blackberry pie.
Well,
I'm going.
I'll go for the blackberry. A blackberry pie, please.
I'm going
Oh.
to cast Detect Evil and Good.
Yeah, you detect evil, for sure. You do not detect undead, celestial, or... Are you casting Detect Evil the spell, or are you using your divine ability as a paladin?
A paladin. I'm not a paladin.
Oh, you're a cleric. That's right. So you cast Detect Evil and Good, and you smell the stench of rotten eggs hit you coming off of her. She is very evil, and you start to detect a faint green glow about her. She is definitely fey.
Okay. Can I try to determine what kind of fey?
I don't think the Detect Evil spell goes that far, does it? Let's see.
I don't believe so. You might, if you know anything about Fae, you might be able to do a skill check.
Let's see. It says for the duration, if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Well, I would hope you would know where it's located if it's within 30 feet. That's frightening. Similarly, if there's a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. So, both of you, since you've both cast this spell, the pie is giving off wispy black smoke, showing that it has been desecrated in some way.
Uh-huh.
Don't eat the pies.
I'll
No-
wink at Norite. So,
Norite and Aaron, actually all three of you, you can make a nature check.
I did one of those ambiguous 10s.
Yeah.
I hate those rolls.
Yeah, right.
Make it
18.
high or low.
What'd you get? An 18?
Yes.
Wow. What about Telfar?
Also a 10.
Wow.
The 10's not good or bad. It's in the middle.
10 is boring.
There's no variety with 10, It's just always the same 10.
I might have just
I know it's
stayed
in
in town and become a merchant or something if I'm going to roll 10s.
She tells you, so she reaches out a hand to shake your hand, Norite, very friendly, and she says, my name is Rickety Ursula Knucklebones. What is your name? And when you shake her hand, you get the distinct impression, although she still looks like a little old lady to you, you get the distinct impression that that you are shaking hands with a night hag.
Oh, gosh. Make a check to determine that?
Well, that was what your nature check is telling you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She says, "You'll want to eat that pie before you go to bed tonight. It'll give you good dreams." And she kind of withdraws her hand and says, "I'll see you next week, maybe." And she starts to push her cart down the road and walk away with the 6 or 7-year-old boy. Thrick and Mittens, what are you doing? Last we saw you were still sitting in the tavern.
I'm just chilling by a fire if it has one.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead outside to see what they're doing.
Okay. You step outside and you see this old woman and this young boy walking hand in hand as she pushes her cart down the street, and you see Aaron standing there holding this um, delicious smelling blackberry pie. I mean, you can smell it from clear across the street, and you're like, oh, that smells so good.
Ooh, is that a pie?
Don't eat it.
Why not? It's just a pie.
Oh, it's an evil magical pie. Don't eat it. It may do bad things. Norate pulls out his bestiary.
It's an
Well,
evil
it
magical
may.
pie. It's like one of the apple pies you would get at like McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's gonna cause the diabetes.
It's a pie of diabetes.
Yes.
Diabetes, yes.
So, assuming that we have sufficient clearance to the old lady and all that jazz, I'll whisper that there's something foul afoot here in town. That lady was an evil fae, and we just saw town folks give their child away in order to have a second pie. So under no circumstances are we to taste or touch this thing. And I'm carefully holding it from the base, which I assume it's in some sort of little platter.
Yeah, it's in a little like a wax paper bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, can't I have a little piece?
No.
Come on, just a try. It sounds so good.
Why don't you just go back and make friends with the next aboleth we see? It's probably about the same.
But
We should make friends with we should make friends with the next aboleth we see, and then feed them the pie.
Yeah.
Tell them where it came from.
They won't let me have any of the pie either.
They're bad people.
So, without talking further to this Looney Tunes group that I'm with, I'll go back into the tavern where I was playing, and I'll walk in and set the pie down on the table next to near the rich kids. I have a 10-minute duration on this detect evil good. I'm curious as to these high and mighty rich kids. And I'll set it down and go, wow, we got this free pie. Anybody want some? There's plenty to share.
So, yeah, you sit down, and when you sit down and set the pie down, they immediately are all staring at the pie. And one of the rich kids, the young nobles, looks at it and he says, "So, is that going to be your bet?"
Oh, would you like this pie? Is it worth something?
We all want the pie.
Oh.
Mittens, make a perception check.
Uh, 24.
So you see you're sitting by the fire, as cats do, and so Aaron is sitting at this table talking with these young nobles, kind of taunting them with this pie. And you can smell the pie now, too. And it smells delicious. But over Aaron's shoulder, there's a stairwell that goes up back behind the bar towards the rooms that you were rented that Bemril and Flavius paid for, I believe. Remember, they had given him I think an entire gold or 2 gold pieces, or maybe it was Norite. Somebody gave him a whole lot of money, and then basically all your food and room and board is covered. And over Aaron's shoulder, you see at the top of the stairs, leaning over and kind of looking down past the wall, is this woman dressed in an all-white gown and wearing a hood. And it's not even a gown, it's like white lace. And she's looking down and she is making the come here motion to you.
Nah.
Oh,
You're like, no, fuck this place. I'm not going anywhere with a strange fraud wearing a lace gown.
uh,
Any of the reasons she might want me are not reasons I care about.
He only cares about the fire.
I've got a fire and a mug of grog in front of me, and I ain't moving.
Okay.
No, I'm just.
Thrick, Telfar, and Norite, what are you doing?
I'm gonna like go sit down at a table, just eat, drink ale, and keep an eye on people. Make sure they don't eat the pie.
Okay. So yeah, you sit down at a table and you've got some of your meat and you've got a tankard of ale. You see this whole situation transpire with Aaron, and all of these people playing this dice game are really interested in that pie, and they're really hoping that Aaron's going to put it into the pot to bet it. Make a perception check.
I'm very good at that. Not today. 15.
So yeah, 15. You see the woman in the white lace robe bending down and motioning to come up the stairs.
Me.
Well, she's motioning in the direction of Mittens, but you can see her as well. I just see Norte sitting there and be like, you, me, him, what, him, me? Which one of us? Yeah.
Can I make an insight check or to see what she's motioning at or for? Why she's doing that?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check. I mean, you don't really need an insight check. You already know she wants you to follow her. But so
why does she want?
I'm trying to determine here. I guess so. Norite and Carl or Aaron, you guys. So Aaron, over your left shoulder, you are getting the ping that there is an undead upstairs. And Norte, you're looking at her and you're seeing the black wispy smoke of undead coming off of her.
Telfar's gonna wave at her.
Um,
Hi.
you wave at her and she waves back and then is like, and then she kind of whispers so low that nobody could possibly hear it, but all of you hear it in your head. She's, follow me. Come with me.
So so Aaron's hearing this voice, but he doesn't see where it's coming from.
Right? Yeah, you're hearing it. You're hearing it in your head, but you know that it's coming from over your shoulder.
And my apologies for the technology. I couldn't hear what the whisper was.
She says, "Come with me. Follow me."
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm busy right now.
Busy. No.
The nobleman sets 2 6-sided dice in front of you that are clearly made of bone, and he says, he looks at you and says, "Roll, foreigner. Let's see who's going to get to eat that pie."
Well, this pie was free to me. It seems unfair for me to use it to try to take some of your money. And as a new person to town, perhaps you could guide us around town in exchange for this pie. I think that would be fair. Tell us about things.
The two noblemen look at each other and are like, "You're just going to give us the pie?"
Oh no! I want to be told about the town and shown where things are. I would expect to be a fair recompense of assistance in learning what's going on and where the best places to do things, and some historical background. What
Says,
I believe you can provide some good worth to me and in knowledge, which is free, in exchange for this pie, which was free.
Like a tour guide.
they both in unison immediately say, "Deal." He says, "So this small town doesn't really have a name. You are," he says, I take it you understand that you're in the Shadowfell, correct?"
Ah,
He says,
actually,
the other one says that if you continue on the road heading west out of town, you will be on the trail, and before long, you'll reach the palace of the Raven Queen.
oh, that's not good.
He says,
That's not good.
if you take the path off of that main road and you head further north, eventually you'll be enshrouded in fog, but you won't be able to return unless you are in the company of a Vistani.
Ah, I've never heard of this. What's a Vistani? How can I tell if someone is a Vistani?
The old man and his wife, Greta, are sitting there eating some stew, and the old man looks up and he says, "Wait, we're Vistani." And the nobleman just kind of nods at them and he says, "Only they can travel across the veil. If you travel across the veil and you attempt to return on your own, you will simply end up back in that realm. It is the realm of Barovia. It is a place you do not want to go."
But we're adventurers. We do want to go.
Mhm.
He kind of shrugs and says, "You've been warned." He says, "But
Yes.
he says, if you are, it appears that you're not from here, and if you are seeking to leave, it would be wise to seek the court of the Raven Queen. Not everybody comes to the Shadowfell accidentally."
I see. Well, you seem to be genuinely trying to help, and I appreciate it. And our deal is made. The pie is yours. I should warn you.
When you say the pie is yours, the
seems-
other brother, he's been sitting there just licking his lips, reaches over and grabs the pie and scoops out a fistful and shoves it in his mouth. The brother that
He gives the pie to perfect strangers, but won't share any with his good companions.
Kinda
What is
greedy.
up with that?
Pretty greedy.
That's
Yes,
so
good
rude.
reason.
So
Good
rude.
reason.
Yeah, but nobody's told us the reason.
the brother,
I have.
the nobleman that you've been talking to, he says that was rude. But he looks at you. He says, "Have we given you the information that you sought?"
Oh, well, no. I expected to have for us to continue the conversation. That would be good. But I was kind of interrupted as I was going to warn you that the pie appears to have been cursed.
You see the brother that shoveled the fistful of pie into his mouth. He just slumps over in his chair and he has this big, happy grin on his face. And before you know it, he is asleep. And he's sleeping with this huge smile on his face. And the other brother says, "All of the pies are cursed here."
Yes. Well, I do
Wait, the
believe
pies are cursed? Why
I
are
believe
the pies cursed?
so. Let's
The
continue
pies are
on.
cursed.
Why?
The pies have been given out by a night hag, and they want them in exchange for people to eat their souls.
I killed the night hag.
We did? Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
I believe my friend Norate's got the right of it, but I'm also a little upset with you, friend. So you knew of this, and you told us to go and seek out these pies. I believe you're still in our debt.
He says he's got some pie in his hand, and he looks over. He goes, "No, you misunderstand me. The curse of the pie is that it's the only way for you to achieve any happiness in the Shadowfell."
How strange.
Okay.
So
And
can we?
yet,
Religion.
Telfar still feels pretty happy.
Yeah. So far, we haven't had to roll to see if we're happy or not.
Well, right. Well, you don't live here. You're just visiting. So
Is that is that undead vampire lady still motioning?
yes, and
Also, can I confirm that she is a vampire?
you hear a whisper in your head, "Don't eat the pie."
Don't eat the pie.
If
Yeah,
that
no.
goes- if
If
it's
I can
broadcast-
whisper back, I'm gonna whisper, I wasn't planning.
if that's being, if Aaron's got that, he's gonna say, "Yeah, look, we're past that point." He'll just say it out loud in a regular voice.
You
like
are
he's crazy.
Look, lady, you're preaching to the choir here.
And Aaron still hasn't. He knows there's an undead somewhere, but he hadn't seen the.
Yeah, you
woman
haven't turned around or looked up the stairs. I mean, you know that she's maybe 10 feet away from you. She's just up a couple of stairs.
Okay. Well, yeah, Aaron, having sensed undead, is not going to stare fixedly at the people across the table. I will turn my head around occasionally.
Okay, you turn your head around and you see her make the motion to follow again, and then she turns and goes upstairs towards the rooms and out of sight.
So I'll turn slowly back to these guys and say, so you stay here where you are unhappy? Why do you not leave?
Nobody who is a citizen of the Shadowfell leaves.
You're unable?
Generally, yes. There are exceptions.
What can you tell me about the lady in lace that's upstairs?
When you say that, he immediately turns around and is looking up the stairs and says, "What lady in lace? Who is this lady in lace that you speak of?"
And I have super skills to detect lying and deception. I don't even think I need to roll. So he doesn't know. I can roll if you want to see if, but I'm getting the strong vibe that he doesn't see or know about that.
No. But he's suddenly, I mean, all the color washed out of his face. He's suddenly very afraid.
My mistake. That seems to have hit a nerve. What?
He puts his pie back in the plate and wipes his hand off with a towel, and he pushes the pie towards you. He says, "You can keep the pie. We don't want it." And he shakes his brother and he says, "Awaken, Ulvald. We have to go. We have to leave immediately."
Aha.
And his brother wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I was having the best dream. Why did you awake me?" And he says, "She is here. We have to go. These foreigners have brought her."
Telfar is going to make a stealth check and start heading upstairs.
I'm going to
Okay.
ready a daylight spell and start heading upstairs, not stealthily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just have the spell prepared, but you're not casting it yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have it readied in my hand.
Okay.
And Aaron will mention to the rest of any of the gang that hasn't gone and look around and say,
so we're a gang now.
yes, exactly. Well, that's what you said. I don't have a name for it, but yes, we're some sort of
Apparently
gang.
we're a gang.
Yeah, we don't really care too much about our members because when they disappear, we just don't acknowledge it.
Are you going to start shooting your crossbows sideways?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I need some big, thick gold chains and.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be all about that bling.
Well, Telfar got a 30 on his stealth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, I think we have a date upstairs.
Okay. So
And,
you sneak your way upstairs, and you find a set of rooms. Each is lit with a single small candle in a small pewter candle holder, the type with a little dish and a ring on it for you to hold it. And there's a small potbelly stove in the hallway itself that heats the entire upstairs. And there's a small kettle on the stove to keep to keep some warm water in case somebody wants tea. But other than that, you don't find in any of the rooms upstairs. You don't find this woman in the white lace robe.
Do I find any people?
No. Nobody's staying in any of the rooms at the inn. You know that one of the rooms was reserved for the old man and his wife.
And the old man and his wife are still sitting downstairs, yeah?
Yeah, they're finishing their meal.
Is the one that was reserved locked?
No.
Hmm.
Is there an attic or something?
No, it appears that you are at the topmost portion of the tavern. There's no attic. The ceilings are steepled, and in a lot of places you can actually see through the ceiling, and you can see the thatch through the thatch and actually see the shingles on top of the roof. You estimate that in a heavy rain that this place probably leaks like a sieve.
Well, I guess Telfar's just gonna keep creeping around if Norotane's on the way up.
Can I cast Detect Evil and Good again?
It's still going.
Oh, okay. Do I detect any evil up here? Or undead?
No.
Okay. So there's no invisibility spell.
Everybody make a perception check.
At 20 again.
Wow.
18 for Aaron.
Okay.
18 for Telfar.
Okay.
21.
Okay. Admittance.
13.
So, Norite, you guys are checking out these rooms upstairs. I mean, each of these rooms is pretty small. The entire upstairs is fairly small. You poke your head into a room, and the window to this room is open. And coming down, flying down and landing on the windowsill and looking at you is this large black raven. And it just looks at you and goes, caw, caw. And kind of cleans its beak on the windowsill and goes, caw. And then turns and flies off to the east.
Nevermore.
feast?
Yes.
Sounds like a Raven Queen thing.
Yeah, it does.
So downstairs, Aaron has kind of gathered up or mentioned to everybody that's down there that we might have an invitation to go see someone upstairs. And he's got the detect evil good still going. Has the undead
So-
vanished from the radar?
Yes. So
Ah.
you go downstairs, and so I'm assuming that Mittens is still downstairs by the fire. Are you saying this out loud so that people in the tap room can hear you, or are you going over and whispering it to Mittens? How are you saying this? Because
I
right
said
now
we
the
were-
only people left in the tap room is the barkeep, who is still staring vacuously like he's in a trance, and all he does is clean the mugs.
Right.
And anytime you talk to him, all he says is that he just sits there and cleans the mug and says that a glass of wine is 2 copper pieces, a mug of ale is 3 copper pieces.
well, that answers my question because I was going to go and ask him
And then, of course,
about going upstairs to meet.
There's the old man and the old woman that are sitting there eating as well.
But they're just eating. So I said out loud, says, it seems like we've had an invitation to go speak with someone upstairs. How about we all go? And I guess at this point, I know not to even bother asking the bartender about visiting guests to the tavern upstairs, like,
Yeah,
anything like that. He's just totally out of it.
right.
Did
So
the raven leave like a feather or something?
No.
Oh dang. Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
go upstairs.
Okay. So it's getting late in the evening, and you guys get upstairs and you kind of congregate in one room. Are you all except for Mittens, who is still down by the fire?
You were invited.
You guys will just tell me whatever I need to know afterward.
Guess that works.
Cats. Oh my
Right.
God.
So you guys congregate in a room, and then what are you doing in this room?
Well,
scheming.
I'll tell him that we detected undead and saw a lady in lace, and it freaked out the people downstairs, so that everybody's on board. And suggest that we check the other rooms up here to make sure we understand what our security arrangement is, so that we're not going to get ambushed.
So the upstairs, there's only one way in or out. It's a terrible, terrible fire danger. But if you scroll down a bit, I will draw you a little map here. As soon as this wants to cooperate with me, there. So this is your hallway, and off of this hallway is your stairwell here. And then off of these that didn't quite work out for me. So off of these, this hallway are these rooms, like so, and then the potbelly stove is right here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then
And the
down.
stairwell was at the southern end of that hallway?
Yes. And then the tap room kind of is like that. And the table where you were playing the games is right here. This is the fireplace. This is the bar. And this is the entrance.
Okay. So I've shared that detected undead and that the woman was a fae, night fiend. So everything that you've narrated that I'm aware of will be shared with the team, except for the cat. And we'll go down and check the rooms to see if there are people in the rooms.
Yeah, all of the rooms are empty.
Okay.
But each one is lit by a single candle.
Okay. And everything seems to be mundane. We don't have magical candles or anything along those lines.
Nope. Yeah, everything's completely regular.
And the open window, is it common throughout the rooms?
No,
they're unmatched? Or?
No, the open window is only in one room, and it was in this room here.
Okay. And what's our room that we're supposed to be staying in?
You just paid for rooms for the night, so you know that one of the rooms is reserved for the older couple, but other than that, you can pick any rooms you would like.
Okay. Well, then we need to have watches, and nobody's staying in one room.
You don't really have to worry too much about it. This is not the kind of place that's going to have turn-down service, so...
Oh, yeah, but it has windows that open and undead come through them.
Right. You know.
So we're going to have watches through the night.
So would anyone care if my skeletons walked in?
No, nobody even bats an eye at your skeletons walking around.
Alright. Well, I just have them sit in my room.
Okay. So you're setting watches for the night? Where do you want your watch to stand guard?
Telfar will take first watch, and he will patrol the hallway in front of the rooms.
Okay.
Okay. And Aaron will also take first watch, but will stay inside of a room to make sure that the windows are not abused as entrance points.
All right. So Telfar, on your watch, nothing happens.
Actually, let me just have my skeletons do both those.
That works.
Do what now?
Do their watches. And then I'll have my third one watching the stairs.
Okay.
How well did they detect undead?
So
They just have
here's a
perception.
problem with skeletons. They don't have any vocal cords.
They can rattle and shake.
Yeah, they can rattle and shake, and then they can make loud banging noises.
I suppose that's true. I mean, I would think that as far as the rattle and shake goes, your skeletons have been around long enough that everybody else has kind of learned to tune them out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should almost make it to the point that you guys are at disadvantage for detecting skeletons. Skeletons should get like advantage to their stealth check because you've been around skeletons for so long that you're used to the normal clatter that they make as they move around. But yeah, they can bang on like the potbelly stove or something to try and rouse you.
Yeah, they also have shields and maces.
That's true. They can bang on their shield. So you're gonna have the skeletons take 2 watches?
Yeah. Unless anyone else wants to take a watch.
I mean,
don't trust skeletons.
technically, yeah, I was gonna say technically speaking, skeletons don't need to rest. So
Aaron will be a sentient alive during one of the watches because he doesn't need the full night.
okay. Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
Telfar's just too excited about a new adventure to sleep.
So is Telfar still going to take first watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
first watch it is.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary happens on your watch. Who's going to take second watch?
Aaron will take second.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary happens on your watch. Who is going to take third? Okay.
We all just go to sleep.
So
Skeletons. Skeletons are on third watch.
Yeah,
I'm
good
doing
enough.
third watch.
So Norite, on the third watch, you are walking around, and the skeletons are kind of, marching like they're in the Nutcracker, marching up and down the hallway. And you're just kind of sitting by the potbelly stove, keeping warm. There's a damp chill in the air, and you start to nod off a bit, and you suddenly look up, and standing in front of you, like 5 feet from you, is the woman in the white lace. And she looks at you and she says, she gets super close to your face, and you can see that the lace hood, there's no face, it's all black inside. There's no body, it's just black. And she says, "Seek out the Raven Queen," and she explodes into 100 ravens that fly away into the night, and you're left sitting alone with the skeletons in the hallway.
Did any of the ravens leave any feathers?
No.
Can't. Can I cast scrying? Or would that not work?
Okay. What are... Okay. I give you guys the free reins to do theater of the mind, and you guys start doing stuff that you've never done before. Let's see here.
We're using our minds. We don't do that very often.
I know, right? This is all new.
What is scrying?
It's a really high level cleric spell.
So...
It's a 5th level spell slot.
Cool.
It makes you basically... It's kind of like clairvoyance.
It's like Saruman staring into the Palantir.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Yeah, you would have a silver mirror instead of a ball. God knows you guys have looted enough of that crap from dungeons. So, you pull out the silver mirror and you cast scrying. What are you attempting to scry?
I'm going to try to keep track where, like, she went. Where the void person went.
Okay.
Would that work?
This is
Or am I
not...
using the wrong spell?
From my reading of it, you get an eyeball that's 10 feet away from the person you're looking for, but it doesn't say that you know where it is. You just get to see around.
Yeah,
person.
you have to pick a creature.
Okay.
Why does that not work? Oh well. So yeah, it says you can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. So you cast scrying, and in the mirror, um, the background image that we have here for our game mat is what you see. But you're not seeing any particular individual. This is all you see.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's a pretty ominous sight.
Is it moving as he's watching?
No. And you make an Arcana check, Norite.
18.
So on your 18, you get the distinct impression that under normal circumstances, the scrying spell that you tried to cast would not function. Like there's something that would block divination magic. But in this case, something is allowing you to see what you're seeing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bed. Someone
Okay.
else can take fourth watch.
Yeah. Who's going to take fourth watch? Well, it doesn't matter. Nothing else happens on any of the watches. You guys wake up. It's really difficult to tell. The only way that you can tell the difference between morning and night is that there is a slightly lighter gray to everything. It is just dreary and dismal and hazy, and like there's a constant lingering misty fog in the air. Everything is damp. You what?
Why would anyone want to live here? The worst place.
It is another plane of existence.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Animate Dead on my 3 skeletons.
Okay.
Since it's been a day,
They just tumbled to the ground?
No, I lose control of them.
Oh, okay.
After 24 hours,
Yeah,
they just wander by themselves and attack things like normal skeletons.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I do.
So yeah, you recast Animate Dead and regain control. When you wake up in the morning, you make note that the older couple has already awoken and packed up their wagon and left.
Well, it seems clear to me that we need to head towards the castle of the Raven Queen.
All right. So, you guys...
You've been cordially summoned.
You guys pack up, and the barkeep has laid out quite a hearty breakfast of pork sausage and scrambled eggs and a large round loaf of bread and fresh butter and big frothy
Yummy.
mugs of ale.
Ah, breakfast beer.
And he goes back behind the bar and goes back to shining pewter mugs.
Well, who's going to eat this? We got pies that
Telfar tucks in real good.
Yeah, it's a delicious breakfast. There's nothing ominous about it.
You can't go adventuring on an empty stomach.
Yeah, who knows how far it is to the Raven Queen's castle?
Well, I've got some disgusting Limbus wafers in my backpack.
That's true. The good old fashioned elven, or actually Feywild standby. Only eat a little bit, or else you'll explode. Have you ever seen the Family Guy where Peter eats all of the survival rations, but he doesn't mix any water with them? He's just biting into them like they're rice cakes, and he eats like 4 weeks worth of food. And he's like, "Well, these survival rations suck. I ate all of them, and I'm still hungry." And they're like, "Oh my god, that was like 4 weeks worth of food!" And he like suddenly he just explodes into this big round shape, and he's like, "Everybody leave the room. I have to poop." Hilarious. So yeah, you guys finish your breakfast, and you open the door to leave the inn, and out in the middle of the town square is a large, well-appointed, royal-looking coach pulled by 6 black destrier-type horses. Large black Clydesdales.
Shotgun.
And there's nobody driving the coach. And the door is open.
Tell
What?
Lars hopping in the driver's seat.
That seems inviting.
And the interior of this coach is rolled and buttoned, deep purple velvet, heavily cushioned seats.
Well, Aaron's not going to hang on the bottom of this one, so he steps on in.
Okay.
Yeah, I go inside as well.
There's a bucket with some ice and 2 bottles of very expensive-looking wine.
Yeah.
This is super premium, guys. Best vacation ever.
The label on the bottles says that it is from the Wizard of Wine's winery, and that this is Champagne de l'Estampes. I can't hear you, Norte.
I think I recognize the Wizard of Wines brand. Didn't we get like an empty bottle down in the Aboleth's lair?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You never eat from the minibar.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Who's going to pay $6 for this tiny bottle of 1 shot of liquor?
Yes.
And a bag of Doritos.
I feel like we've hijacked some vampire's prom night transport here.
So as soon as you're all on this coach, the door actually closes on its own, and the coach takes off. And it starts off at a leisurely gait, but as soon as it starts to leave the town, it starts to pick up speed. And it is traveling faster than any coach you've ever seen. The ground is just flying past you.
We need to name this coach the Black Pearl.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't settle down soon, it's going to be the Black Hurl.
Yeah. You notice, I mean, everybody looks around the sides of the coach, and Telfar, you're kind of hanging onto the seat up in front, and you know that you're traveling far faster than you should be, but the ride is like perfectly smooth. And you take a corner, and this coach just kind of hugs the road like it's on rails. And it keeps going. It travels this way for about 6 hours.
Ooh.
And
Party horses.
finally, at the end of 6 hours, it starts to cross a wide bridge. And this bridge is like 40 feet wide. And this bridge goes across a large chasm, and you can see these towering statues of helmed warriors that are holding, 100-foot tall swords, and they're holding them like this in a guard position. And you cross this bridge across this wide chasm, and you look down below, and there's a river with a raging waterfall. And then once you cross the bridge, it circles around behind one of the statues and travels for about another 10 miles, and then it crosses another bridge back across. And then you can start to see the rising towers of a large, dark gray fortress. And that would be this fortress here. And the coach comes up, and it goes through this large gate, and you can see standing around a large number of guards that are all dressed in black armor. But they don't look strange. They're all elves, and they all stand around in their guard. And as soon as the coach comes into the courtyard, one of these elves comes up and opens up the door, and he says, "You are the adventurers that we've been waiting for. Please, please come out. You must be tired from your journey."
Does it disturb the metal that I'm like a radiant cleric of the light, and this is not exactly that type of area?
No, they don't seem to mind at all.
Okay, cool.
Everybody make a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw. Aaron got it.
10.
I got it, but barely. I rolled a 6, but my wisdom modifier is +4.
Well, yeah, because you're a cleric.
15.
Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Mittens?
10.
Nice. And Telfar?
Don't forget you have proficiency for wisdom.
Mm-mm.
Naruto.
Telfar rolled a natural 20 on the wisdom check.
Nice.
And I would also like to hide, and I got a 32 on that one.
Okay.
Never mind. I have like 22.
So this saving throw that you guys make, you can feel that there is a ever tugging feeling of despair the longer you stay here. And you're able to shake off this sudden depression.
Yeah, Telfar's natural 20. He ain't feeling nothing.
Yeah, no, Telfar's fine.
Happy, exciting adventure, you say? How delightful.
And Telfar kind of ducks behind one of these black elvish knights and just vanishes from view. This knight is standing before you, and he is wearing all black armor with a silver logo of a raven on his chest, and he has a deep purple cloak, and he's holding a helm that has a raven motif on the helmet itself, where it looks like the faceplate has raven wings spreading off of where his eyes would be. And he motions and he says, please come in. You must be tired and hungry from your long journey. The vizier wishes to speak with you, and he leads you into this dark castle.
What type of armor are they wearing? Like black leather?
It's all plate. It looks like Royal Guardsman type of plate mail armor.
Cool.
Spare
I might
parts.
want some of that for my collection.
Just join the Raven Queen's forces, and I'm sure you'll earn it.
But I need to wear my +1 plate mail to honor the the war hero, the ghost of the war hero.
Do you need to what now?
have to wear them to honor him.
Oh yeah. Aaron, I'm going to step away for just a second. But Aaron, make your choice either a history or religion check. But only Aaron can make it.
Okay, guys, I only get a +2 to this, either one of them, so here's hoping.
I'm not at my screen. What did you roll?
3.
Well, with my +2, I have a 3.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
At least it wasn't a saving throw for, being mind controlled by an aboleth or something.
You got a 3. Okay.
Ding.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I'm not really concentrating because I'm hoping they're not get too mad about the condition of that coach that we were stuck in for 8 hours.
Woo, this place reeks. That coach is going to need to be detailed. Sweaty adventures. So,
Ones that just ate a big hearty breakfast.
right?
We're old guys. We just whiz out the window, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. That's what my wife thinks.
At 80 miles an hour.
Hope a bug
You
doesn't
gotta
hit
make
you.
sure you're facing downwind.
So he leads you into this large fest hall, and there's a long table. This table must be 20 feet long, and there is a minor feast laid out, goblets of wine, and you notice that there are a number of elven servants moving about, basically waiting on your every need, waiting on you hand and foot. And he motions for you all to sit, and he says that the vizier will be with you momentarily. And he clicks his heels together and turns and marches stiff-legged out of the room.
Okay. Well, we've been dropped here, so I will investigate the room.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
A boring 10.
I help you with that.
Yeah, I do have guidance. But
I cast guidance, and it's now a 14.
yeah, if they stack, it's a 17.
So you find a painting over the fireplace, and it shows a elvish woman being cast out of the Feywild and into the Shadowfell. And go ahead and make another history check or religion, your choice, and you get to make it an advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask for help on this one. History or religion again?
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust that history. That's the one I got the 1 on, so we'll try religion this time.
Yeah. So
And
on your 18, there's a couple of things that you realize. There is an ancient, and of course, you're not really Elvish. You are
Eladrin.
Eladrin. But there is an ancient story amongst your people that would basically be considered prehistory of this elvish woman who, for one reason or the other, left the Feywild. And in so doing, she ended up in the Shadowfell, and it was essentially considered an undead, but she rose above and became the Raven Queen. And there is a retinue of elves that came with her. And these elves, when they're in the Shadowfell, look like elves. They look normal. But they've been with her for so long that if they ever were to leave the Shadowfell, when they are on the prime material plane, they look old and decrepit. Their hair, their long white glistening hair, they go bald. Their skin shrivels. Um, and these are her guardians.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So are you going to let the rest of the party in on this information?
Sure.
Hey, Aaron, what you looking at?
Well, this painting is reminding me of the stories of the origin of the Raven Queen. In time immemorial, an elf was cast out from the normal realms and brought her and her retinue came to the Shadowfell, and they are largely immortal here. I believe that these elves that we've seen here are part of her retinue, most likely. And
So you heard of the Raven Queen before?
well, this painting is reminding me of some of our people's oldest legends.
Sounds fascinating. Can't wait to meet her.
Well, she's ancient, so
the door to the fest hall suddenly opens, and in walks a elf wearing long robes, and he has long silver hair, and he appears to be fairly young. He looks like he looks to be in his late 20s, early 30s, and he comes walking in with a brisk walk, and he holds out his hand to shake all of your hands. And when he comes to Aaron, he bows, and he says, "Oh, it has been a long time since we've had an Eladrin. My name is Vizier Vistan Eldrani. I have some information for you that the Raven Queen has asked that I pass on to you of much import."
Well, thank you. We're all ears. Please proceed.
He says, "Please follow me to the Grand Library." And he leads you out of the room, and he takes you across the hall, and he opens up these large double doors. And in this library, there are hundreds and hundreds of books and scrolls tucked into very neat shelves. Like somebody goes through here and does a lot of dusting. But in the center of this room, when you look up, there is a large mechanical construct of the multiverse. And you can see where the prime material plane is floating around, where the celestial plane is. The plane of the nine hells is actually separated, a bunch of rings separated. And you can see how all of this touches. You can see in the center the large ringed world of Sigil, as the city of doors, as it rotates around the prime material plane. You can see all of the planes on this large mechanical model. It's like a model of the solar system, but this is much more elaborate in not only a spiritual sense, but just in its visual sense. And below it, so this thing's hanging in the ceiling, dominating the center of the room, and below it is a large beach ball-sized crystal ball. And he leads you over to this crystal ball. And he says, "It is obvious that you are already aware that there are multiple planes of existence." He says, "You all hold a greater part in the story of these planes than you might originally know. Please look into the crystal ball."
I do so.
As do I.
As you
How
stare into
close
the
do you
crystal
have to
ball,
be-
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was wondering how close you have to be to the crystal ball to observe anything in it. I think Telfar is still keeping a sneaky, safe distance away.
You don't have to be too close. As you all stare into this crystal ball, suddenly it feels like you're getting drawn into the crystal ball, and the entire room fades to black. And next thing that you know, you're standing in a vast black void. And you see the vizier is standing there, and he looks down, and he shows you there are a series of what look like broken shards of glass floating through this black void. And
Please, Vizier, what is it that we're looking at?
he says, a great many years ago, long before you ever existed, even as your people, there was a great war between gods. A war so great that a actual plane of existence was shattered. What you know as your home, the east or the Sword Coast, is actually one of those shards. And he points, and you see this glass mirrored shard kind of go bling and brighten up. And you, as it's tumbling in the vastness, you can see Troll Skull Manor. And then he points to another one, and you see it go pling, and you can see a group of adventurers fighting in some sort of dungeon. They're fighting these guardsmen that have flaming spears. And he points to another one, and it goes bling, and you can see that there is a group of adventurers that are in a dungeon with lava, and there is a lich that is throwing fireballs and finger of death at them. He says each of these shards is another mirror of your existence.
Aaron's overcome with awe.
Yeah, everybody needs to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 10.
Soft 20.
I still had advantage clicked. Let me try again.
There you go. Nice.
Telfar's got a 19.
Nice.
22.
Nice.
I got a soft 20, and then I rolled again since I'm proficient, and then I got a nat 20.
Well, proficient doesn't mean you get to roll with advantage. Just means
really?
it just means you add your proficiency bonus.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So that should already be
soft 20.
calculated in, but soft 20 is fine.
I got nat 20.
Nice.
You guys are all wasteful.
I know. Blowing all these nat 20s. So, excuse me while my allergies kill me for but a moment. He says, the town that you originally started in, the town of Salmonvale, and he points at a very large chunk of this mirror-like surface, and you can see in that mirror a destroyed town. There are buildings have been shattered into splinters, and you can see that most of this town is now nothing but tents, and they appear to be rebuilding. But he says you started long ago in the town of Salmonvale, and he says this was the nexus point. This is where this plane was hit and shattered. He says, the Raven Queen wishes for you to know that you are in a much greater position of importance than you have ever known. And he kind of waves his hand, and the black void changes. And you see, you are on a hellish a hellish landscape with lava and gouts of fire blowing up. And you look off in the distance, and on this rocky crag, you see a wizard. And he is standing there, and he has crazy white hair and a crazy unkept beard. And he's wearing black robes with red runes on them. And he's waving a staff, and he's pointing. And from behind him come 4 towering elementals. And these elementals are a good 70 feet tall. One is an earth elemental, one is a fire elemental, one is a water elemental, and an earth elemental. And they are trudging across the land almost as if they are under the control of this wizard. And
Hey,
when
Chris,
yes,
I forgot I had plans that start soon, so I have to leave you guys a little early for those.
okay,
Sorry about that.
no problem. That's understandable.
Yeah,
And then
see you next week.
he points, and you see to the right of all of this, you see what appears to be an angel falling from the sky, and instead of a halo, she has a ring of fire around her head, and she's falling from the sky towards a group of towards a adventuring party with a barbarian who is standing there holding a sword of fire. And he says, all of these things are going to come to pass unless you can stop him. And he points to the wizard.
How are we to even I don't have words. This wizard has power beyond any I've ever seen. He could rip through Waterdeep without effort. How are we to stand against him?
The vizier waves his hands, and the black void shrinks back down, and you are once again standing in this grand library. And he says, I believe you know who the wizard is.
Hallister.
Yes. He says, his mental state is fragile. You can use this to your advantage. See what I did there? He says that you can use this to your advantage.
From now on, before I make any roll, I'm going to say, Hallister's fragile, and I'm going to get advantage.
He says it is universally important that you succeed in stopping Hallister in his experimentations. He seeks to control the princes of the elemental forces, Ogrimmok, Imix, etc. If he's able to do that, he will go to war to not only take over the prime material plane, but then he will set his sights on taking over the 9 hells and putting himself in Asmodeus's position. And there will not be any good left on Toril. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just going to say that, yes, we do not want this fate that you show us to occur. I don't know that we have the strength to do what you ask.
You hear a woman's voice, and she says, there are many who feel or have felt as you do. And you turn and you look, and standing on a balcony overlooking the library is the woman in the white lace robe, or white lace dress. And
Aaron will kneel.
she says, do not despair. The future of Toril lies in the actions and decisions that you will make. I trust that you will make the right decisions and perform the correct actions. But Hallister must be stopped.
I am convinced, yet can't you, with the clue, if we are fated to make the decisions that result in stopping this catastrophe, then why have you summoned us here? Is there nothing we can learn, or?
She says, often it is not enough for a individual to be simply trusted to do what they need.
Were we on the wrong path that we needed to be?
No.
So that we could be set straight? I am confused.
No, you have corrected your path many times, but it is often not enough that an individual be trusted to commit to an action without foreknowledge of what that action may lead to. I am not a god, but it is often that the gods will have a chosen one that knows that that does not know that they are a chosen one. And I find it difficult to believe that person could commit to the actions required by the gods without even knowing that they need to commit. I prefer transparency in my dealings with mortals.
Indeed, it is greatly appreciated.
She says, I will send you back to your plane. However, before I do, I wish to bestow upon each of you a boon.
What is the nature of this boon, my lady?
Boon us up, baby.
And how much money is it worth? No. Does it come with a transferable warranty? Can we?
Yeah, can I trade my boon? If we don't like our boon, can we trade it? She says, to you, Aaron, I give you the boon of luck. You can add a D10 roll to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw you make. Once you use this boon, you cannot use it again until you finish a short rest.
That's pretty powerful.
My deepest thanks to you, my lady.
To you, Telfar, I grant you the boon of immortality.
Oh man, she saw me?
You stop aging. You are immune to any effect that would age you, and you cannot die from old age.
Yes.
To you, Norite, I am granting you... Oh my god, I just saw it, and now I can't find it. I know it's on this page. Where did it go?
Woo.
To you, Norte, I am granting you the boon of fortitude. Your hit point maximum will increase by 40 hit points.
Okay. I now have 120 maximum hit points.
Meat shield.
I am the meat shield now. I cannot die.
To you, Mittens, I grant you the boon of planar travel. When you gain this boon, choose a plane of existence other than the material plane. You can now use an action to cast the plane shift spell. No spell slot or components are required, targeting yourself only, and travel to that chosen plane or from that plane back to the material plane. Once you have used this boon, you cannot use it again until you finish a short rest. And to Thrick, and Mittens, you can write this down and give this to Thrick. I grant you the boon of the unfettered. You have advantage on ability checks made to resist being grappled. In addition, you can use an action to automatically escape a grapple or free yourself of restraints of any kind. I believe that these boons will aid you in your future progress towards stopping Hallister Blackcloak.
Well, we
Thank you.
I don't know if being eternally youthful is going to help in my quest, but I definitely love it from an RP aspect.
you can start taking long-term investments instead of looking for the short-term return.
She
Goes along with
she
my
chuckles
story.
and she says, "But Telfar, who better to tell the tale of what has been portrayed here than you?"
Aw, Telfar blushes.
Yeah, now you're going to have to take all your next levels in Bard.
Or find an annoying bard to just follow you around everywhere. The bonus of that is if you ever get hungry, you can eat the minstrel.
I would
Bosley Bard.
definitely have a were-rat bard minstrel following me around, singing the tales of the Raven Queen, the glorious
And they
hero.
bravely ran away.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes, yay. The vizier looks up at the balcony and says, it is time, my lady. And she says, yes. And you see, like, in the air in front of you, like a lightning bolt kind of crack. And the air itself splits apart. And you can see the cellar of the Troll Skull Manor.
Let's go back home. Before we go to press.
This is where we part.
She says,
So
good
that-
luck, go forth, and end this menace to the plains.
Thank you. We will give it our best. We now fully appreciate how much depends upon it.
And you step through this crack, and you are back in the cellar. And you see, when you step into the cellar, slumped over in the chair, snoring loudly, is this prisoner that these three drow gunslingers had brought. And all three of the drow gunslingers are sleeping on the floor as well. And when you step through this crack, the crack kind of slams shut, and there's an audible snap. And
Telfar blows a kiss to the Raven Queen before it snaps shut.
of course you do. And when the crack snaps shut, these three drow gunslingers wake up, and the cellar door opens up, and poking his head down inside is this red-bearded pirate with his big hat with the feather in it. and he's wearing an eye patch, and he's the one who came to see you to begin with.
Axel.
And he says, "Well, it's been 3 days. Let's get this guy out of here." And the three drow gunslingers kind of pick this guy up and load him up into the ceiling and climb the stairs out. And you're back in the tap room of the Troll Skull Manor. And this red-bearded pirate winks at Telfar, and he says, "Thank you very much for stowing this prisoner for Jarl Axel." And they make their way out of the tavern.
Oi, what about our compensation?
Oh, yes. Yes, I almost forgot about that. And
Did forget about
We
it.
kept him safe for a full 3 days. You have no idea what we've been through.
says, "And I promised that you would be well compensated." And he reaches into a bag, and inside the bag, he pulls out another bag. And this bag is about this big around. It's a canvas bag, and he drops it on onto one of the bar tables. And when it hits the table, the top opens up, and gems spill out.
Okay. See, we got a bunch of boons, and then we got a bunch of money.
Pleasure doing business with you.
There are. This bag has 200 gems in it, and each gem is worth at least 10 gold pieces. And there's a ton of different gems in here.
Is there any diamonds? Because I want to encrust my gauntlet of helm in diamonds.
You're really going for that. As a cleric, you're not taking that vow of poverty now, are you?
Oh.
Yes, there are some diamonds, there are some turpelines, there are emeralds, there are rubies, sapphires, every color under the rainbow, and some clear colors and some blacks. 200 gems, each worth 10 each. 10 gold pieces each.
2,000 gold in gems.
And
Nice.
as the black chicken strolls across the countertop, Aaron slaps his forehead and says, "Oh, I should have asked if she knows who the heck Surtur is." Because I'm a cleric of Surtur, and I don't even know who the hell that guy is.
You don't know who Surtur is?
I know who Surtur is.
So, you were back in the Troll Skull Manor, and you've been away for 3 days. Although it only feels like you've been away for 2. Well, 2 days and 1 night. It was like a trip to Vegas.
Has Bob returned yet?
No.
Well,
Has Liv seen him in the last 3 days?
Liff communicates with you that he has not seen Bob, but the things have been running smoothly with the tavern.
Liff, pour me some booze. Apparently, we need to concentrate on getting down to the bottom of the dungeon.
So the
whole world depends upon it. I need to get drunk.
The floating tuxedo goes over to the shelf behind the bar, and you see a bottle come off the shelf, and then the bottle goes back on the shelf, and up above it, on a shelf higher than that, another bottle comes off, and then the cork comes off, and he pours shots of the good stuff.
The good
stuff.
Keep it coming.
He puts a shot glass in front of each of you and just leaves the bottle on the bar for you.
Thanks, Liv. You're a champion amongst men.
So the whole freaking universe depends on us as I'm after my 5th shot. This sucks. All I wanted to do was get rich.
There's always a price.
I'm sure Alistair's got some pretty fancy stuff down there in the bottom, and we haven't been doing all that bad in the adventuring business.
Well, I'm just carrying around 7,000 gold coins in a sack over my shoulder.
And we built this nice vault for all that. Whoa, or is that yours?
That's mine.
Oh,
My gold.
hey, Telfar, we could store other people's stuff and charge them money for keeping it. Yeah.
We could be like bakers.
Yeah, they're rich. Yeah,
Oh.
and they don't have to go down and face aboleths and almost die.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the size of those elementals that guy had? Oh, God, give
But
me
come on! Tell me it's not a little bit fun. I had a blast!
Those things were freaking huge. The guy, he's like, I don't know what the heck.
I dug up some information on your god, your deity.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
The black chicken Peck. He comes over there and pecks at your toes. What?
He's known as the king of the fire giants.
Oh, God.
Does that help?
Why does he care about me? I don't know. Give me another drink.
Because you're gonna save his realm. He wants to control everything.
I just want money.
You
I
just
want to
want
be
money?
safe. I want security. I want a nice place to live, good food, people taking care of me, all this good stuff, and I got.
So you mean you want to grow old?
You can talk, but he's passed out.
Okay.
So you guys wake up the next morning, refreshed, possibly hungover. And you've packed up. Is there anything that you would like to do before you decide to go back down in the well at the Yawning Portal?
I want to go check out the smithy.
Check out the what?
Smithy.
Okay. What are you looking for at the smith?
Is there anything that would perk my interest there?
Not really. I mean, you already have magical armor. You've got really good weaponry. Do you have a magic shield?
I believe, no, I don't need a magic shield. I have 120 hit points and my armor class is 20. I don't think I need a magic shield. But no, I don't.
Okay. So, I mean, the smith doesn't have anything better than what you already would have. So, no, nothing really would interest you.
Okay.
I mean, at best, the smith might be able to do, given enough time, the smith might be able to craft a +1 weapon for you, but, I mean, compared to some of the gear that you guys are already carrying, a +1 is not great. Or +1 armor.
Embed these gems in my gauntlet, please.
In your gauntlet or in your helmet?
My gauntlet.
Okay.
Of helmet with the eye and the
Okay, he can do that. Yeah, something like that doesn't take very long, and so basically you come back and you look like you've been given a glove that would be purchased by the Kardashians, and there is a diamond on each knuckle.
You can do some premium pimp slapping with a gauntlet like that.
Yes. Yes.
Jeez.
Well, Aaron
Telfar
has.
has
Go
two
for-
ideas for just a little bit of business in town. The first is he wants to know if he could inquire within the Waterdeep government to see if Lif could be given personhood again.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
As long as he pays
Personhood?
taxes. You got to pay taxes on his income, and sure.
I am sure there is a guild for that. In fact, I'm positive there's probably a guild for that. So you inquire with let's see here. So the first person that you have to inquire with is the the guild of morticians, funerary services, and believe it or not, hairstylists. And
Makes sense.
they at first they kind of scoff at the idea. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Yes, but you see, he's, quite sentient. He can communicate. He wears clothes and occupies a presence. He has a job and serves a function within our community. I rolled an 18 plus 2 for persuasion. So soft 20.
Okay, so this guildsman says, "Well, I mean, I suppose that it could be done. We would have to send a cleric over to do an investigation to make sure that he's not some form of evil undead. Of course, we don't want that roaming around our city."
No, of course not. No, of course not.
He says, "May I inquire, why not just simply resurrect the gentleman?"
Well, I suppose I hadn't thought of it like that. I suppose I should ask him what he would prefer.
Well,
Good thinking.
that's usually the best solution in any of these cases. Although, because I mean, if he is considered to be a citizen of Waterdeep, of course he will be taxed on his income. I don't know how being an undead would feel about that. It does seem like it's kind of a loophole, though, doesn't it?
I suppose. But I mean, if he were living again, he wouldn't be able to, I don't know, throw several 60-pound kegs across the bar.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't done that violently, has he?
Oh, no, only in protection. He's quite fiercely proud and protective of the Troll Skull Manor.
Well, that does seem like a good trait to have when running a tavern. He says, I can send somebody by tomorrow afternoon. They would both be able to investigate the situation, and of course, they would, for a fee, be willing to cast Resurrection, if that is what you would want. You'll have to excuse me. I have a hard time referring to a poltergeist as a he or a she. They're not even really a person, more of an emotional and mental state that just floats through the air.
Well, I confess he seems quite sentient to me, and I dare say we've even become friends and developed quite a rapport with one another. In any case, if you could come around next week, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah. So, next week would be fine. I was going to say tomorrow afternoon, but if next week works better, then we can certainly do that.
I'm afraid I have some pressing business to attend to, but I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, does the bureaucrat, is he aware that we have a pit fiend in the tavern, and would he connect the fact that Telfar wants the poltergeist to become a citizen and say, "Oh crap, you're going to want a pit fiend to become a citizen of Waterdeep"?
Yeah, they might have a problem with the pit fiend becoming a citizen of Waterdeep.
Well, we'll see if Bob's even around next week. He
I mean,
might be on other.
whether you're just
urgent
trying to do a
tasks.
good thing or whether or not you're trying to pay a parking ticket, the real key to talking to a bureaucrat is only talking about the thing that you want to talk to them about, and don't offer up additional information. This is the rule of thumb that I have learned to live my life by. So,
Perjury is a thing.
well, it's not really perjury if you don't say it.
Right. No, that's the whole deal.
If you
don't
just keep
talk,
it-
you can't
if
be perjured.
Right, if you just keep it to yourself, it's not really lying. So, yeah, so Telfar comes back to the tavern. Is there anything that Mittens or Aaron would like to do?
Aaron's got a couple of things. First off, he's had a short-term. He thought it was his only goal, but he collected some of the high tensile Drider silk that we ran into down there,
Okay.
knowing that it was at least one component of a weapon favored by his race. He was wanting to work on getting a oath bow.
Oh.
So it can be a long-term thing. It's no biggie, but he's going to collect material and look for artisans and see what it takes for him to
craft an oath bow?
craft, or he wants to get an oath bow.
Okay.
So that's just always been on there, but now with this revelation, he's spoken to Quill, his friend, the Kenku that's taking care of stuff at Troll Skull,
Yes.
and set him to researching something that he dimly remembers, that thinking that was truly legendary and awesome, and very impressive. And now he's thinking, if I have to go down there and face essentially the nearest thing to a god, this has moved from fantasy to I need to take some steps. So he set Quill to learn all that he can about Staff of the Magi.
Ooh. So, staff of the
Spell absorption and all that. This doesn't have to happen for 10 levels or ever.
Well, a
But
staff of the Magi wouldn't be something that I believe you could use. Well, maybe. Let me.
I'm a warlock. I've got the left level up.
Oh,
Surtur warlocked me.
So you're a warlock and not a cleric.
No, I am a cleric. I am Surtur's cleric and his freaking warlock.
Jesus, how many classes do you have?
3.
Wow. You are the first person I've ever known to take 3 classes.
Yeah, I'm having fun. And it's all because of that dang black chicken that I got in the vending machine.
So
at Going Gaming. That's why all of this has happened.
The Staff of the Magi, wow.
It is something.
It is something, but I don't know that it's something that you would be able to craft.
I think it's legendary. It'd have to be, I don't know.
It would, yeah. I mean, the Staff of the Magi is almost like a holy avenger.
Yes.
Usually, when you run into something like that, that's one of those items that there might only be one, maybe 2 of them on an entire plane of existence.
Well, that's why I've got my friendly divination wizard looking into it.
Okay. Yeah, he can look into it. The oath bow, however, you could theoretically craft. So are you also having him poke around and look around for possible artisans and components for the oath bow?
That wasn't my original intent, but now I think I'm going to have to spend a lot more time underground. And so, yes, I'm going to ask him to look into that.
Okay.
And that's a higher priority. The legends and all that other myths around Staff of the Magi, I don't really expect a big payoff, but I do want to pursue it.
Okay. So that can be something that he can do as far as a downtime activity in between your adventures. Mittens, is there anything that you wanted to do?
Not really.
Okay. You're being awfully complacent tonight, Mittens.
It's like, went to the Shadowfell, met the Raven Queen.
Yeah, meant worse, honestly.
Aw. I want to have keys made for all the owners that go to the safe under the bar.
Okay. Yeah, that can be done in an afternoon.
Yeah. Something easy. Just throw those in your inventory, everyone. Everyone's got a key to the safe.
All right. Anything else?
I want to wear some kind of Raven Queen emblem to signify my blessing from her.
Okay.
You
You can order for 150 gold. You can order. You can have a artisan create this a cloak pin that both incorporates the symbols of the Raven Queen and the harp from the Harpers all into one cloak pin.
Hex yeah.
All right.
So anyone who sees me out and about in the dungeons will immediately recognize a couple of affiliations, I guess.
For those that know of the Raven Queen, yes. But definitely they'll any member of the Harpers will surely see that.
And if I use my mask of disguise, is that something I can hide in as part of my disguise?
Likely.
Cool. So I won't worry about that until I need to hide it for whatever reason. I'll wear it loud and proud and Waterdeep. How much gold was that?
150.
Yeah, and that's all I can think of for what I might want to do on the surface. I'm ready to go spelunking.
All right. So you guys leave the Troll Skull and you head down to the Yawning Portal. Leave one tavern to go to the other. And you each pay your gold piece and they lower you back down. And you use the portals that you have found to get back to where you were. And you take one of the boats that was on the river, or by the river, underground river. And actually, well, yeah, one boat will do. You load up into a boat and you take off down the river. This is a tributary of the Sargoth River, and it is quite fast moving. There are a lot of minor falls and dips and turns, and this quickly becomes a whitewater rafting trip. Everybody make a dexterity saving throw versus DC 15.
If Telfar is having a good time and enjoying himself and doing backflips, can I look an acrobatic check instead?
Yeah.
18.
Oh no. What'd you get, Norte?
18.
Okay. Mittens?
13.
Uh-oh. Talfar?
If Telfar is excited and bouncing around and having a great time, can I make an acrobatics check instead?
Yes.
Sweet.
Aaron will expend 1 charge from his ring of evasion to not go plummeting off the side of the raft.
Okay.
And that is a 21 total for my acrobatics check.
Okay. With your 21, Telfar, do you want to try to assist Mittens in not falling out of the boat?
Yeah.
So,
can
Mittens,
bounce
you can
around
go
and do
ahead
that.
and make another check, and hopefully you succeed.
$13.
Oh, no! So, you guys are rushing down this whitewater river, and Mittens just bounces out of the raft and is now in the water, scrambling like a cat in water, trying to keep his head above water in these rapids. What are you guys going to do?
Mittens, didn't you take those boots of levitation?
I don't like boots.
Oh.
He doesn't want to be in Puss in Boots.
A wet kitty.
Joe's hanging on for dear life with one hand and trying to fish out a rope with his other hand.
I cast
We have
guidance.
a magical rope. We can just tell the rope to go get him.
I cast guidance. He gets an extra 4.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So
I think the magical rope.
Yeah,
is
so
good
if you're going to cast guidance, then Mittens, go ahead and make one more deck save.
24.
All right. So you are able to, with the guidance, you are able to grab onto the side of the boat, and you are being dragged with the boat, but at least you're buoyant. And with a little bit of effort, you're able to climb back up in. Wet and fairly exhausted. And the rapids start to slow down a bit, and you can see that the darkness of the previous cavern starts to open up, and you look up, and there is what looks like a bright, clear summer day sky. Rays of sunshine coming down. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your face. But you look at the walls of the cavern, and you can tell you're still underground. And when you look over to the shore, you can see that there is a lush forest on the bank. And the boat comes to rest here. Oops, sorry.
Aaron falls to the shore, kisses the dirt, and says, "Land!"
And Telfar does a backflip out of the boat. Hooray.
Let's see here. Okay. All right. So that is where you end up on the bank of this this underground river. And like I said, this is a fairly lush forest. The sun, it is a bright summer morning. You can feel the heat of the sun's rays on your skin. It is a beautiful day underground.
What kind of source of light and heat can I detect to using perception without staring directly into it?
Menzoberranzan. No, I'm kidding.
Make an Arcana check.
I tell you what, Aaron's really shaking these days.
Yeah, you are.
It's like, why am I looking at this? I have to go to the very bottom and beat that demigod down there. Okay, yeah, right, whatever.
Whoa.
Here. Sorry, I'm doing this again because this always screws up. Because, we're not allowed to have nice things at work the way they're supposed to. So what'd you get on your Arcana check?
It's pretty impressive. I mean, you may have to look up what does a 4 tell me?
Wow. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I had to scroll down. A 4 doesn't tell you a whole lot. I mean,
What?
There's
I'm
just
getting ripped off here.
there's just not a whole lot that a 4 is going to tell you. All you know is that there is a lush green forest. You do see that there are tracks in this little sandy beach area. I mean, there's like maybe the sandy beach. There's like maybe 10 feet of sandy beach, and then it turns to a lush green grass. But you can see that there are boot marks here, heading up off into this forest. That somebody's been here before you. The trees growing alongside the river are some of the biggest. Their gnarled boughs form a tangled canopy that overhangs these pebbled beaches. You can see that there are fish jumping in the river. You can see off in the distance that there are some bears and deer and elk moving about. This is a full, lush ecosystem.
Wow.
Tofar is going to activate the flying cape. And because it's daylight, I got bird wings instead of bat wings.
Okay. How high up are you flying?
No, 20, 30 feet up, get a little look around.
Okay. So, yeah. You can see that... So this area, you fly up above the tree line, and this area here is all canopied over with the boughs of these large, old, gnarled trees. And then over here, you can see that there is a large stone-structured, guardhouse. Here and here. And that in between these guardhouses, there is a crenellated wall that kind of bisects the forest.
Any signs of life?
Not that you can see. Aaron, go ahead and make a survival check.
That's something he needs to train up on. Boring. 13.
So that's enough for you to see that somebody wearing heavy boots has made their way towards this door leading into this guardhouse, up from the beach and across this forested area.
All right. We proceed towards that direction
Okay.
carefully. I've got my stealth, as crappy as it is, active. Can't die before we face the demigod.
So let's see here. You got a 15 on yourself. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. That's because it's in a forest.
Yes, the Eladrin who's bad at hiding in the forest. That makes perfect sense. He's special.
Lightning, Chris.
I gotta go to the forest and get some underwear. So is anybody else going to try and stealth?
Probably a good idea.
Go ahead and make your stealth checks. I love it when the group makes stealth checks because I only have to worry about the lowest one, usually.
19.
Oh,
18.
wow, you guys are... Did you make that with disadvantage, Norite?
Yes.
Wow.
I got 28.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I expect that from Telfar.
I look like a large bird.
Well, Telfar practices all the time. That's why
Yeah.
he's better than I am.
Yeah, Telfar is up flitting in and out of these tree boughs, perfectly stealthed. And so you guys make it over to this door. And the boot prints lead right up to this door. You try to open the door, and it only budges maybe about an inch, and then it seems that it's barricaded from the inside. You do feel like you could push really hard on the door and possibly open it, though.
In my backpack, I have a rarely used crowbar, which should give some good leverage to moving that door.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
Ooh, lucky. 22.
Nice. So yeah, you pry on this door and you're able to get it pried open enough that you can shove away the barricade, and piled behind this door are broken chairs, shattered benches, and a couple of empty chests. Once you're inside, you can see carved into the middle of the east wall is a decorative stone arch enclosing a blank wall.
So someone panicked in here and tried to barricade the door.
The frame, of this arch has been carved to look like the trunks of trees. Make an inspection. Roll investigation.
Okay, let's see. I think that's one of my specialties. Yeah. Whatever. I've got a passive investigation that's better than what I'm going to roll. Yep.
Ooh, 21. So on your 21, close inspection reveals the images of a dead tree carved into the keystone.
So this perhaps is a portal like we accessed with the unicorn?
That would be your guess, yes. You've seen similar archways like this in previous levels of the dungeon.
So now looking at so we tracked those footprints coming in here, and this door's been barricaded. So it seems that the story is that somebody came in and was so afraid of something from the outside that they barricaded the door.
Right.
Do we see footprints in the dust, or I'm sure it's just torn up because of all the movement.
Norte, you step in, and while Carl is poking around and looking at this arch, you move some of the detritus that's lying about this room, and you find a dead halfling, kind of tucked behind an iron stove in the northeast corner. They're wearing leather armor, and their face is twisted into a mask of horror.
Oh no, it's a halfling.
I cannot resurrect him, but I'm gonna cast Speak with Dead.
Okay. So you
hear
yes, yeah, you can't speak with dead, and this immediately this halfling, the face kind of creaks and moves, and he goes ah, and he looks at you and he says, "What do you ask of me?"
How did you die? What killed you?
I refuse to serve the will-o-wisp that was chasing me from the north. It followed me here, and I barricaded myself in here. My name was Hayden Fleetfoot. A warning to you. Barricading yourself inside a room does not stop a will-o-wisp.
Yes, they're pretty ethereal.
Can I roll to see if Telfar is familiar with his family name?
Sure. So are you going to come back? Are you going to come down into the room then?
Oh yeah, I wanted to follow everybody around.
Okay.
Now that my reconnaissance is kind of done.
Okay. So go ahead and make a history check.
A whopping 10.
Well, I'm gonna help you. So do it with advantage, since we both have spent plenty of time up on the top.
Well, you know what? That really helps. Let's go for 21.
Yeah. So you have heard of a family of halflings that actually lived in the North Ward, named the Fleetwoods, or excuse me, the Fleetfoots. Yeah, they sing a lot of folksy songs. The Fleetfoots are generally known for working as basically servants for nobility in the castle ward, but certainly not all of them. But you've heard of their family.
All right. Then Telfar's gonna kind of make a note of it for later. When he goes back to the surface, he'll deliver the news of this Fleetfoot's untimely demise.
The disembodied halfling voice says, "Thank you for telling my family what happened to me."
And Telfar replies in halfling. I don't know. Is there like some kind of halfling death prayer thing?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure it's
Something like that.
I'm sure it's a lot more jovial than like a Klingon death prayer or something. Did you have any other questions for him?
Do you know where the will-o-wisp has gone?
He tells you. He says that to beware of the old grave to the north.
I see. Thank you.
And then do you release him?
Yes.
Okay. So
We're gonna bury him with something.
Okay. Yeah, you could bury him like basically right outside. I mean, there's plenty of forest here.
Yeah.
let's see here.
Aaron will check to see if there's any, not loot, but items that might be returned to the family.
Let's see here. So Hayden's
Like
body. Hayden's body has a quote-unquote salvageable suit of halfling-sized leather armor. In his nearly mummified hand, he is clutching a silvered short sword in one hand and a burnt torch stub in the other. You find he has a dungeoneering pack that has spoiled rations, but there are 5 torches remaining in the pack, and there's a small pouch that he has tucked into his belt with 4 gold pieces.
I'll take the coins, lay them on his eyes.
Okay.
All right, so I'll take his silvered short sword for return to the Fleetfoot family.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you guys don't have inspiration, you all get inspiration because you are treating this body quite well.
Yay.
Well, I would have looted it, but it's a halfling. It wouldn't fit.
Mittens, while these guys are messing with the body, you find that there is a door leading out of this guardhouse that goes to the north.
All right. Let me go in it.
Okay. So you you open this door to the north, and you see that there's a small clearing on this side of this crenellated wall. And this wall is 20 feet high and probably 4 feet thick. And there is the other guardhouse to the north. There is a door on the east side of the southern corner.
So that's that area marked 3A?
Correct.
What we're talking about?
Correct.
All right. Now, so this area has had a halfling around in this area, but is it dusty and all that jazz? Can we see if there were has anybody been in here?
So make a medicine check.
Well, that's a new one.
Are there any grown-up boot prints?
Yes.
And I basically I should be adding 1d4 to everything that I have time. Oh my god, that's not right. But anyway, it's over 20.
Okay. So you do see that there are boot prints in here, and they lead out the north door that Mittens has opened. And when you're doing your investigation, you look over Hayden Fleetfoot's corpse, and you determine that Hayden was killed by a series of small electrical shocks. You can see the welts and pinprick marks where small lightning bolts have hit him over and over again.
Well, I'll share the information with the rest of the party that it appears that the Will-o'-the-Wisp packs an electrical punch, and that's probably how Hayden got killed.
Mittens, make a perception check.
Nine.
So
A whole 9.
a whole 9.
Yeah.
So looking to the north, and keep in mind that it is daylight, you can see that these boot prints leave the gatehouse that you're in and go to the door going into 3A. You're still stealth. Did you want to investigate?
Who are you talking to?
No,
Mittens.
just wait here.
Okay. So you guys take the time to bury Hayden, which kills your stealth.
Yep.
But so, are you going to mark the grave in some way, or are you just going to bury him?
We're probably gonna mark the grave.
Okay.
We'll make a cairn.
Oh, okay.
Collect stones.
Okay.
I'm not sure what we've got that can make a mark, but we can
Sure.
do that.
Okay. So yeah, you collect stones and make a small cairn over the grave. And
It's not a very big grave.
no, that's true. I mean, it's like what, 3.5 feet tall. Well, we're in a forest, so we'll just do what we usually do: dig a 6-foot hole, drop the body in head first, pour in some lime, and plant a tree on top of it. Everybody will know that there's a body there now. So you finish this cairn. Took a little bit extra time, but you've dug a fairly decent grave. Stupid allergies. So Mittens, are you going to tell the rest of the party about the tracks, or what are you doing?
Nah.
Okay.
Everyone seems like they're done. I'm just gonna start following them though.
You're gonna what now?
I'm gonna start following them when everyone else seems like they're about done.
Okay. So yeah, you guys finish, and you've got this other door that's open. What do you want to do?
Time to go to 3A if we haven't been there already.
Okay. So you open the door to 3A, and there is a rusty lantern hanging from a rafter in the middle of the room, and you notice that the lantern, there's light coming from the flame is in the lantern. However, you can notice that the lantern has no fuel and there's no wick. It burned out long ago. You're guessing that this is a continual flame spell that has been cast upon it, and it is brightly illuminating this musty room. There are 4 wooden beds with moldy mattresses in this room, and at the foot of each bed is an empty, overturned chest. And you see in the dust on the floor, you can see tracks going to the northern door.
Someone's been here recently.
Perhaps.
Okay. So we've done a little bit of looking here. It's continual flame is probably not worth carrying around, but I'll stick my finger in it, having heard that it doesn't have heat.
No. There's no heat.
So I'll look at the northern door, see what the state of it is, and open it.
Okay. So you open this door. Let's see here. Okay. Hey, you guys like swarms of things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shawarma? Yeah, it's good. I remember that from the
Shawarma.
Avengers movie, right?
Yeah.
More the murderer.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Oops. That's not what I wanted. You open this door and are immediately attacked by a giant spider. And in this forest, it comes to life with multiple giant spiders.
Oh, jeez. I
There
don't
are-
like
There are
spiders.
five giant spiders and 2 Eder caps that immediately move to attack the door when you open it. Everybody roll initiative.
Yay!
I don't like fire. Spiders don't like fire at all. I rolled a 1 for initiative.
Well, that I think you said roll 1d2.
Yeah, right.
You flipped a coin.
So I rolled 10.
And roll again, but with 1d20.
Okay. And of course I get a nat 20.
Nice,
Of course
nice.
I do.
Telfar, what'd you get?
21.
And Norte, what'd you get?
Do you want me to count my new roll or my old roll? 'Cause my old roll was a 1 and my new roll was a nat 20.
All right. So what's your dex modifier?
+1.
So you got a 21 for an inch. Mittens, what'd you get?
8.
And Aaron.
23.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you open this door, and the spider immediately moves to this giant. Looks like a giant black widow. What are you gonna do?
I don't see the initiative turn. Am I first?
You're not. You guys aren't seeing your initiative.
Why am I not?
19.
I am.
Where'd it go? Oh, okay. There we go.
Okay.
I just had it. Okay, so that's me. Fine. Thinking spiders. I will. How are these crenellated walls? What's their height? What do they look like?
They're 20 feet tall. The wall itself is 4 feet thick, and then there are 5 foot 5 foot sections, like small embankments for crossbowmen. Although there's
Right.
nobody up there that you can see.
Okay. And the scale of our little icons, is each square here 5 feet? So we.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, you're within 5 feet range of this giant spider. Actually, let's see here.
Well.
Yeah, 5 feet to the spider. Actually, you're within 5 feet of both the spider and the Eder cap. They're both like right there on the door, so you could attack either one.
Alrighty. Well, theater of the mind. I will Misty Step because having me being up there, nobody else can do jack.
That's
So
true.
I'm going to Misty Step up into that corner.
Okay.
Right up in there.
Okay. So you're 20 feet above.
Yep. And I don't want to waste any time, so I will shove out my hand and aim at this spider here with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage on the attack because you have the high ground. Go ahead and make your attack.
All right. And let's see. Oh, to heck with it. I'm going to do it here and just tell you what I get because it's easier. Doo-doo. So I have to do an attack roll. And my attack roll is a nothing's working right now. Boom. An 11.
Oof. So what level of Warlock are you?
1.
Okay. So you only get one Eldritch Blast, I believe?
Yep.
So yeah, you missed with your Eldritch Blast. I mean, it looked cool, but you missed.
Sure.
Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Let's see. For my bonus, I've already used it all because I did the Misty Step, so I'm done.
Okay. So the giant spider is quite pissed off that that you are now out of reach. You were looking like a tasty meal, elvish meal. And so it is going to move into the doorway and it will attack Norite.
Okay. Your fangs cannot bite through my armor.
Oh, you might be surprised. Probably not, but... $23 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh.
Ow!
So the spider definitely does bite through your armor.
Doesn't poison me though.
And he does a whole whopping 4 points of piercing damage. So
I didn't even feel it.
So you have as a dwarf you have advantage on saving throws versus poison, and you have resistance to poison damage. Go ahead and make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw with advantage.
15 and a 19.
Oh yeah, so you're not poisoned at all. This spider is going to... Oh yeah, he's going to try and web Aaron. And fails miserably with a 12. This spider is also going to try to web Aaron. $18 to hit.
Yeah. No, Aaron's armor class is 21.
Oh, yeah, so no, he misses.
Good. I mock them.
This spider climbs up the wall, and this spider is going to move into the doorway and get mad at the map because it's not working for him.
It starts to bite the floor.
Oh, there he is. And he's going to attack Norite with a bite and miss with an 11. Telfar, what would you like to do?
Did it take us more than an hour to bury that halfling?
Yeah, roughly.
Cool. So my cloak's no good anymore?
No.
Then I will... Can I see the spider?
Probably not, because the wall, that tower is 20 feet tall, and it came up from the other side of the wall, so probably no.
Gotcha. And there's one here in the middle of the room?
Yes.
And I can see it through the door?
Yes.
Well, then I think I'm going to take a shot at it.
All right.
For 28 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. First blood.
And 11 damage.
Okay.
And I will...
Did you roll sneak
attempt
attack
to-
damage?
Was I hidden?
It doesn't matter. Norite's within 5 feet because he was just attacked by it, so you would get sneak attack.
Oh, yeah, that did not include my sneak attack damage.
I didn't think so. I thought
re-roll
that
that
number
one
sounded
again.
kind of low.
Yeah, that's too low. Alright, so I'm doing. I'm gonna roll on the thing here because I don't have that many d6s. So yeah, 30.
Okay, so that is a dead spider, is what that is. Splat. And what would you like to do?
I will re-hide
Okay.
for 28.
Okay. You are effectively hidden. Norte, there's a spider in the doorway leading out to the north. What would you like to do?
I'm going to step over the spider body
Okay.
and attack it with Bleeder.
Okay.
Nah, wait, no.
What'd you get?
Soft 20.
Yeah, that hits. I thought you were gonna say nat 20. I was like, what? Oh, it's a nat 20. No, it's a 2. Where it just teeters on the edge and then rolls.
Yeah.
Our Saturday night group bought a Wormwood dice tray, and they've got a couple of dice that literally do that almost every time. You'll roll them, it'll hit the wall, and you'll think, oh my god, it's like a 14. No, it's a 7. Or, oh my god, it's a nat 20. No, it's a 2. Because it's like it lands, it stops, and then it rolls on its own. It's very strange.
Damage.
How much?
25 damage with my axe.
Oof. Yeah, this spider is tore up. Do you have another attack or another action?
I did just kill it, so I can use a bonus action, a bonus attack.
Well, you didn't kill it though.
I didn't?
No.
Oh.
Close. So,
Hello.
as a what level cleric are you?
9th.
And what is your
Domain.
yeah.
It is light.
Oh, you went light. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Our last discussion was between light. It was going to be between light or war.
Light because we were doing the Underdark stuff.
Right, and you wanted to yeah, I gotcha.
There's spiders, and spiders don't like fire.
I don't think they don't have any particular vulnerability to fire, but so Mittens, what would you like to do?
Let's see. I having trouble. Sec. Just gonna casually stroll over here.
So this spider here would get an attack of opportunity on you.
Sure.
Okay. $22 to hit.
Oh no.
Did he get you?
First time in forever I'm taking damage.
I know, right? For 4 points of damage, 4 points of
Wow.
piercing damage, and make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
14.
Okay, so you'll take half as much damage, and you are not poisoned. So you take 6 points of poison damage,
Hmm.
but you don't have the poisoned condition.
And
And then what do you want to do?
I'm gonna do.
You want to grab that drawing, don't you? Yeah.
Fire.
I know. Good luck. Every time I try to grab one of those, like half the time it works. The other half, it's like, nope, you're not grabbing any drawings. All right, go. So they get to make dex saves.
Hey, you wanna just create a wild magic surge really quick?
Oh yeah, yeah. So hold on. Before we get too into this, let's do that. Roll a d100. Uh-oh.
I have remembered a couple of them.
What'd you get?
6
You got a 6.
is the one I remember.
Okay, so within 5 feet of you, you hear a pop, and you look over, and here is this little round clockwork-like creature with wings, and it's holding a long dagger, and it has a single eye in the middle of it. It is a Modron, and it pops
Yay.
into existence, and is just kind of looking around like, how the hell did I get here? But all it says is, whenever it tries to communicate, it comes out as click, 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 click. And your fireball goes off. The spiders get a whole 12 for their save, which I know is not sufficient. And Jesus, the Ettercap gets a whole 6. So go ahead and roll your damage 8d6, assuming that you didn't empower that spell, and they are going to eat all of it.
33.
33 points. So
He did.
the Ettercaps are not dead, although they're very badly burned.
I'm not dead yet.
The spider with next to no legs left is very dead. Let's see here. Oh boy, he killed a whole bunch of shit. Let's see. He's dead. He's gonna take 33. So yeah, this fireball goes off, and there were spiders and ettercaps that you didn't even know were there, and now they're on fire and quite pissed off about the whole situation.
And they're easier to see now.
And when this fireball goes off, parts of the forest are flaming and damaged. Did you want to do anything else, Mittens?
Fire. quick cast fireball.
Okay. Wow. Ettercaps. Oh, come on. The Ettercaps get a 7 for their dex save. I'm not rolling well tonight.
Seems fine for a 937 roll.
Right? Yeah, I know. We're running just a few minutes late here. How much damage did you do this time?
32.
Okay, so, well, that solves that problem. Okay. Aaron, you can see that there's this spider that climbed up on the wall over here. What would you like to do about that?
Well, I will again unload with my tremendously fear-inducing and awe-inspiring Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I mean, come on, who could resist the power? 17 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Oh, and there was much rejoicing. And 9 points of damage.
Okay.
If I could only sneak that Eldritch Blast in.
I know, right? Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, what the heck, I'll do it again. As a Cleric of Surtur, I will use my... Oh, nope. Oh, yeah, that's right. As a bonus, I can do a bonus attack. It's not a... it doesn't matter what I did. It's on my bonus. I can do an attack.
Yep.
However, that is not a spell is not an attack, right? So I can't do the spell.
No, casting a spell is its own action. If you have a spell that has a casting time of bonus action, you could cast it.
Sure. Nah, okay, I'm done.
Okay. The spider drops down off the wall and attempts to get through this door. Telfar, you get an attack of opportunity on the spider because the spider doesn't know that you're there.
Oh, sick with it.
I mean, I don't think it does. Yeah, no. I'm finding a giant spider with a passive perception of 10 to be hard to believe, but... I mean, have you ever been able to sneak up on a spider?
I can never tell if I've snuck up on them or they've snuck up on me.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, usually it's the other way around.
Don't care that you're there.
Yeah.
That's a 21 to hit with my dagger. No, my short sword.
Yep, that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow, 30
Same
points?
as last time.
Wow. All right. Well, that just puts an end to that spider. All right.
Shank.
All right. We will go ahead and break here. And we will be back here next week at 6:30 p.m. And hey, everybody that's watching, all one person, please scroll down and click on the Help Save Going Gaming. Any donation will help the store get through the pandemic. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Chris.
You're very